Evening, everyone. How are we? How's the audio? Are we okay? Or I put it up there. How's that? Is that good audio there? So this evening we're going to be doing the colour separations for the next Patreon print. If I pull the face cam up to there, we can see what I'm working on. There we go. So yeah, I've got the tissue and stuff all pasted down ready. So first job is to take all the impressions, and then we'll work with the highlighter and make the actual separations and then paste them down. So you just got to moisten the block a little bit first. So how is everyone today? How's everyone's week going? Hi Nigel, hi Anna, hi George. And if you notice this area in here, I haven't cleaned this out. This is because there's going to be a very small section of the print pasted down there. Just the little gradation for the bird will be pasted down the bottom there. So we have 5 separations to do, 5 colours in the block, to make the print. And the first is for the bird. So you're just taking the impression like you would normally. It's just very important to make sure you get good registration on these separations. So there we go. We can see what the print looks like. So that is number 1. 4 more to go. And when you're making these separations, you'll want you want to use this bit of a darker black on the block than you would normally print. These ukiyo-e prints usually had like a darker grey colour rather than a solid black. And you don't have to worry too much about hitting the registration marks and things like that. Yeah, so I've gone through and done all you need to do. You have to do any sort of recarving and stuff before before you do the colour separations. Otherwise, you can run into some registration problems. Hi Ben, how are you? So there we go. So next job is to trace in the areas that we need. So on my iPad here I have the original in front of me. Do you want me to zoom in on this, or is if I zoom in a little bit, you see what we're doing. So the bird's rather simple. It's just two opposing gradations. And that's really all there is on that block. Oh, good luck, Ben. I hope it goes well. Just make sure that it's not too wet when you come to do it. You want good enough moisture to be able to actually sink into the block, but not so much that you make it bleed. It sort of wants to be very slightly sticky. How many barons do I use? I only have two at the moment. I have a hard, so a thick baron, and a fine baron for the key blocks. I do need to purchase sort of a middling, sort of a medium baron, but they're rather expensive. Would you guys like me to put the image that I'm working from up on the screen, or are you happy with sort of just watching me colour in these areas? You don't need to. So you need to just sort of moisten the block a few minutes before you're going to use it. You don't want the block to be like soaking wet. But certainly you want there to be moisture within the block. I sort of just spray it with this spray bottle, and then leave it a few minutes. Just wipe any excess off. 2 seconds. Let me just find the file, and I shall add it. Is that okay for everyone there? Like that? Is that too small? Or are we okay? So this step's really just quite simple. You just got to be mindful of marking all the correct areas so you're not missing spots. You have to tell me if I'm making any mistakes. Point it out for me. So I think that's everything on this block. Yeah. This one is the base tone for all of the green. Will have this one base tone. Flower by the bird's neck. On this one, here, I did, yeah, that bit there. Thank you very much. I have a little highlighter with an eraser, with a erasing tip there. And what I always do when I'm carving like this, I'll make a copy of the original, and then I refer to it as I'm carving. I think that's it on this one. So this one is for the gradation at the top. So all I'll do here is make some just rough marks, because the only thing I'm keeping is the background. I don't need to spend all that time colouring this area in here. Yeah, the dark green is a separate block, but it will need a base tone. Printing a darker colour like that, you'd run the risk of it becoming a bit patchy. It needs a base tone under there, so that pale green will sit underneath it, and then it'll be either the same colour with a little bit more blue mixed in, or maybe a little bit of grey. I'll see once I come to test print that. So now this is that dark green colour. And then there's a ton of little spots and stuff that sit in the branches. That is this darker green colour. Yes, I am, Nigel. Yeah, I'm using the three MOM, MOMME, MNE, I think. Yeah, the 3, not the 5. And then just here, with these dots and blobs and stuff, my carving's obviously very slightly different from the original. So anywhere where I've got these dots, I'll just put a little mark in, and then I'll refer more to the original as I'm carving it. But I'll just sort of delineate the areas now, roughly as I'm pasting these down. But they'll come together a lot more as I'm carving the block set. Right, I think that is it. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we have 5. 5. So, first one to do, slightly unorthodox, is we're going to paste this one the wrong direction. Basically because it's such a small area that it's rather insignificant that it's printed the wrong grain direction. Because it's just literally tapping the baron on the block to take the impression. And then same as pasting down the key block. It's just a case of dampening that area that you're gonna paste the image to. And then just apply a little bit of glue. Kento stickers. So if you're in the UK, you can get them at handprinted.co.uk, or if you're in the US, I'm not sure about McLean's, but Wood Like Matsumura stocks them. They're super cheap. They're a great way of cheating, like me. Just it saves a bit of time and effort, doesn't it? And I always peel a corner. I always make sure to peel a corner away, so that when I come to peel the block off, the backing off, it will always stick. I always peel the opposite corner to the one that's going in the Kento. And then for this, I'm using my hard baron, because I want to really make sure to get the image stuck down. And then pull at a sharp angle. So that one's stuck nicely, so we'll go on to the next block. Oh, that's a good idea, Ben. Yeah, they're super cheap, and they're really strong. I've got ones that have been sat on the blocks for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, and they haven't moved. This block here is one of the ones that we've made ourselves. You can see it's got this huge knot here, which makes it really hard to use for a lot of things. So using it for this small area here is fine. I won't come anywhere near the knot there. You just got to make sure that you're spreading the glue out nice and even. And then when I'm patting the block, you can see there's all these little ridges forming. That's what will catch the paper in place. That's what catches the paper in place. So this is the dark green going in. Now just hold this edge up and work it down by hand. And you can either, so I folded the corner up on the last one. This one, I've got a little bit of extra paper hanging there, so so your best bet would be wood like Matsumura then. I don't know, hand printed might be quicker, might be cheaper, I'm not sure. Am I using standard PVA wood glue? It's not wood glue, it is the most basic and cheap PVA craft glue I could get my hands on. It's water based, it's washable, it's not got any sort of anything that's going to like burn or tarnish the wood or paper or anything like that. It washes off really easy with I use a toothbrush and just a spray bottle of water. Yeah, I've always used that. I've used wood glues and stuff, and you can use nori, like water soluble shoji screen paste. But I've always used this that PVA glue. It's always worked well for me. It's this block here with these big flat areas, this will work well with the background block. So you just got this nice flat area up here. Yeah, Elmer's glue as well. Yeah, just any of the the sort of paste glue that you get in like elementary school that kids always used to sit and eat. And when you wet the block like this, just keep moving the surface water around a bit. Try and even it out. And that's sort of what you're looking for. So it looks damp, but when you feel it, you're not getting water come off onto your hand. And the glue wants to be spread as evenly and thinly as possible. And then I will leave the blocks like this to dry the glue and stuff. Leave it up on its edge. Don't like flat on its face and stuff. So it just takes longer to dry. And now we've got this face that's sort of going to waste, so we can do same as we did on the other side. We can probably just paste these sideways. If not, then I've probably got a spare back of a block somewhere. How long? Not long. The glue dries really quite fast, so just sort of maybe 10 minutes or so. And I like to, I'll show in a sec, but I like to mask off the back side of what I'm working on. Let me just dampen this block and I'll show you. So when I'm working on a print, I will mask off. So say I'm working on the opposite side to this. I'll take a piece of paper, the size of the back side of the block, and I'll mask it off and tape it around the edges. So then there's a piece of paper taped to the back side of the block, so when I'm working it's not getting scuffed and catching on any loose bits of wood and stuff that's on the workbench. And this one I'm going to spread some down here to I always do that, especially this one. If you've got a key block on the back, you shouldn't really carve the opposite side to where a key block is. So I'll mask that out with some like an old test print or something like that, a bit of a thicker paper, just to make sure that that key block's really protected, because that's the most important. That's the most important block in the entire set, so you really want to protect that. And really be careful to not flick the barren end down into the glue. That's the last thing we want. And then any areas that sort of, because you get this little rippling sometimes, I just pat it back down. Don't try and like rub it, because you'll warp the area. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you'd especially the key block and things like that would have been done by the most experienced guy in the shop. But seeing as I am both the most experienced and least experienced in this particular workshop, the job falls to me. So I got two options here. I could paste down over this bit of tissue, but it's just going to make it more awkward to carve. So there's no real issue in me just rolling it up to there. And again, this pass on this what are we? Ooh, we're going to be a little bit close there. So what we can do here, I just noticed we're going to be really close to that, and it's going to make printing a little bit tough. So if we pull, we can just move the registration mark down to about, so the back of the edge is, the back of it's bit down there. Yeah, about there. It's important to sort of just do a dry run to make sure you're not hitting, especially hitting knots and things like that. And there, I could have got it down, but it was just maybe a couple of millimeters too close to that, and I wouldn't want to catch the corner of that while I'm printing the petals. I feel like I could do with it some days. Yeah, well, usually, so Nigel, usually it's maybe a little bit of bad practice on my part here. Usually you would follow the grain. Every block, every piece of grain would go the same way. When you have an area that's rather small and isn't too likely to be affected, and because these prints are only done in very small runs, there's not really the likelihood of big changes in the dimensions of the paper. Because there's only sort of a max of 30 of these being done, it won't change drastically the dimensions of the paper, so I can get away with that. But a general rule of thumb is you should always, the wood grain should follow the direction of your paper grain. But that small petal area and the bird area are really quite insignificant in terms of the pressure that you put down on the block. So I can just sort of get away with that, working sort of quite fast over it. But yeah, it was just purely because it's just saving money on blocks as well. If I had more of the smaller blocks, then I would have used them. But that's going to be it for tonight. So I can't promise that I will have colour blocks being carved on Tuesday. They're probably going to be finished by then. There's not a huge amount of work to do on them, so I'll be test printing the first part of next week. So carving wise, we'll probably be back on Avatar. We'll finish off that last bit of hair on the Avatar block. Then we have a cloud key block to do on there before I do the colour separation. So we'll be back on that in the evenings on the streams, I think. Yeah. But thank you very much for joining in today, guys. Put my face cam back. Yeah, thank you very much for joining, for tuning in. It means a lot. But I'll be back Tuesday evening, same time as usual. I'll notify everyone on Instagram and through Patreon and stuff when I do. But everyone stay safe, stay well, and take care. Thank you again.